Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Gemini, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. So Gemini, this reading is all about your quantum jump. So what are you currently going through to up-level yourself into a new dimension of being, into a new phase of your existence? We make decisions every day, and theoretically it's this idea that, we're never in the same world moment by moment by moment, because we're constantly making decisions that alter our lives. And when that decision making is conscious and mindful and thoughtful, you can catapult yourself into a great space of understanding. So that's what these readings are all about. So I am doing your reading today with a special crystal. This is called Super 7, and it's one of the oldest crystals in my collection. It's 7 different crystals in one, and it's for psychic harnessing and accessing the violet flame, as well as the quantum realms. So I'll have that on my desk. Thank you, Spirit, for you today. I'm going to be using the Time Traveler's Oracle for the overall energy, and for your main spread I'm going to be using the Muse Tarot. Cards have been pre-shuffled, so we're just going to get a card for Gemini, please, Spirit. Overall energy for Gemini. Gemini. Thank you. So you got number 2, which references the High Priestess and the major arcana of the tarot. And the word is activation. Humans discovering fire in Africa. Humans discovering fire in Africa. It's immediately making, you can see here the kind of desert landscape in the background, even though there's just less of a desert and more of a grasslands. I'm not sure. I can see here like hieroglyphs, petroglyphs. The concept of this, humans discovering fire, can you really take a moment to think about how much that one discovery accelerated the growth of humanity, because all of a sudden you could do things in the night that you could never have dreamt of before. In any era, any age of human development, I think that they would call this a technology. So the wheel, the invention of the wheel, that was a technology. Humans discovering fire and using it for their personal gain or their, livelihood. It's a technology. And Spirit wanted me to bring that up for you. The small thing, isn't it, that it seems like, when I was going to light the candles, I just did this. I just want to note that in these kinds of lighters, there are very, very small quartz crystals. They're piezoelectric, and quartz crystals are the ones that ignite the gas in here and create the flame. So it's amazing. It's amazing that one small discovery of your life could literally change the course of your life. It's how big of a deal it is. And this activation for me would reference a kind of spiritual activation in you. So we're going to get 8 cards for the spread, 4 cards for clarifier, 4 cards for the base spread, excuse me, and 4 cards for clarifier. Past, present, future, advice from Spirit. Okay, 6 down already, 2 more. Gemini, please, thank you. Okay, for Gemini, past energy. You certainly were dealing with fire energies, the fireworks and the fire, the flames of the hair on this Knight of Wands, Knight of Inspiration. This Knight in particular can be very spontaneous. Knights are kind of teenager energy in the tarot. Teenager. You're not a young child, and yet you're still in development into adulthood. So thinking on a kind of spiritual level, or even a maturity level, there could be something here that you are still waiting to ignite, right? Because it's like I see the firework, but it's almost like you yourself are the ignition point, right? The activation point. And it's kind of like all thrusters are firing. I see you very excited, raring to go is what Spirit wanted me to say. I kind of wanted to avoid saying raring to go because I don't actually like that phrase, but I use it a lot. I don't like it though. I wish I had something else to say in terms of describing that, but it's like revving up the engines and taking off. It's almost, so now Spirit's showing me the Batman car and the flame that comes out of out of the Batmobile, Bat out of hell, which we'll get to in a moment. Really spontaneous, really excited, really impulsive, passionate. Sometimes the Knight of Inspiration can be a little bit of a flash in the pan, so somewhat unreliable, doesn't really stay the course. So there could have been something in your past where you were very, very excited to maybe start a new project, a new class, and perhaps then it became a little too much, and then you found yourself kind of stuck in a situation that you weren't really excited about anymore. 6 of Voices is the 6 of Swords. This talks about moving from choppy waters to calm waters. So with the card in reverse, it denotes stuck energy, stagnancy, and having to do with the thinking mind, right? So because Voices / Swords, it's your element, it's the air element. So whenever we see in this deck Voices, whenever we see that, it's all about thinking and thoughts, ideas. Spirit just wanted me to say assumptions. Assumptions. Maybe you thought something was going to be way more exciting than it turned out to be. I'm going to get a clarifier on the Knight of Inspiration. I think somebody right outside my apartment just got a flat tire. Flat tire. So like letting the air out of your tires. Take it as it resonates. 9 of Inspiration, 9 of Wands. So this is a really dynamic energy in this deck. Nine of Inspiration talks about tenacity, like really pushing forward and holding your head high, not letting anything stop you or deter you from your goal. So it just kind of shows me that this was something you were really proud of. Maybe the responsibility of it became too much to handle, because I also see you wanting to get away from it and not being able to. So take it as it resonates. I don't know what this is in reference to, but the first thing you thought of is the thing that it's in reference to. I feel like you still have your head held high. Like your spirit just said saving face. I mean, I don't think there's anything here you need to be ashamed of. But I think you're just, maybe if something doesn't work out in our lives, but we tell everybody that it's happening, and then it doesn't, or it's not what we thought it would be. Sometimes it can be like embarrassing, or, you know, wah wah is the sound. Spirit just gave me wah wah, like a little bit of a letdown. But, you know, this is something that I always kind of tell people, that like, whatever decision you make is the best decision you know how to make at any given time. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It doesn't mean that you didn't learn something along the way. And you are standing really proud here. So that's good. You know, but I feel like you're faking it a little bit. Or somebody I'm speaking to out there. It's a little bit of saving face. I'll just leave it at that. In the present energy, you got the Hermit in reverse. So there could have been a period of time where this is really, these are two different decks, right? We see this desert landscape, and this tree and this tree mirror for me. So night and day, there's something to that. But the Hermit, Major Arcana, number 9, it is Virgo energy. And it talks about somebody who kind of retreats unto themselves for spiritual growth, for the dark night of the soul. They're just taking stock of things, trying to heal traumas, family lineage healing, trying to assess what matters in life, like the big questions, all the big questions, like the what happens when we die questions. That happens when we're in hermit mode. But when we come out of hermit mode, which you got this card in reverse, it's like we're emerging from the cave, stepping out into the light with new perspective, fresh eyes on the world and ourselves and our place in that world. What is that expression? Be in the world, not of the world. Which to me signifies a little bit of matrix energy, just understanding what the world is, but not becoming so attached that you lose sight of the bigger picture, whatever spiritual bigger picture that is for you. But when this card is in reverse, it shows me that you are merging now. 5 of materials, though, to clarify it, not easy. 5 of materials, 5 of pentacles, this is earth energy. And it talks about a sense of isolation, being left out in the cold. Almost as if there was a moment where you went into hermit mode and you retreated away from all of your friends and family just to get some perspective. And then when you came back out, you found that everybody had packed up and moved away. Emotionally, energetically. You know, they could be sitting in their next room, but they're not with you. Very, very tough energy. Sometimes this card can be illusory, though. And what do I mean by that? I mean, Sometimes we think we've been abandoned, but it's not actually true. It just feels that way. It hurts. But I see a scenario where it's like you just come back to town and you think everybody should be blowing up your phone, calling, texting, or whatever, and nobody does. And it's kind of like, well, whose responsibility is it to reach out? I think maybe both parties, right? But it's almost like you were the one that went away. And now it just feels like everybody forgot about you. See, even these look like telephone lines now to me, telephone lines. Lines of communication. Let me get a clarifier on the 5 of materials. Why is the 5 of materials here? Thank you. Wow, okay. The Hanged Muse in reverse, Hanged Man, number 12, and the Wheel of Fortune, number 10. 2 major arcana is flipped out. That, for one, makes me think that it's part of a little lesson that somebody has to learn. We all have to learn lessons. We learn lessons every day. But 2 major arcana signals heavily divinely guided energies. So like your spirit guides are entrenched in what's happening right now in your life. Yes, you have free will, but we also have a path of, you know, what our souls are meant to do. And so sometimes you have to kind of be gently kicked in the butt to get back on your path. Right? So there could have been a little bit of resistance. The Hanged Man or the Hanged Muse goes up into the tree of knowledge to gain perspective on things because they've just been too close. And so just like the Hermit, you got this card in reverse. So it's like coming out of that, right? But with the Wheel of Fortune clarifying it as well. Wheel of Fortune talks about good fortune, good luck, but it also talks about divine timing. And I asked this clarifier for this card of the feeling of abandonment, and I got these. And it kind of tells me that, like, this is the, you know, I don't see the Justice card here, but I feel the Justice card. It's like a little bit of karmic balance. But ultimately, this is also saying that because you've gone through these very heavy spiritual energies, you could have come out of that place of knowledge a different person, right? This reading is all about quantum jumping. And when we do that, sometimes we have to leave the old version of us behind, and we could leave others behind. So I actually think that while you may think that everyone has abandoned you, I think the kind of adjacent is true, which is that there's something in you that activated, and you couldn't take everybody with you. Like, not everybody would understand, right? Like, so for example, I'm definitely not the same person that I was 5 years ago. A lot of people aren't because of the pandemic. If, you know, God forbid you lost somebody, or it's just, and if you have, my condolences, because many people did. But others who were forced to go into hermit mode because we couldn't interact with people, you just did some soul searching. Like, is this the end of the world? I mean, those were some of the questions that people were asking. And there was all sorts of chaos in the streets. And so naturally, you're just not going to be the same person that you were. Your worldview is going to be different. What you value might have changed. And so I'm not the same person. And all of this tarot reading and kind of becoming clairvoyant, clairsentient, and all these things. Some of my friends, they're so loving and they're supportive, but they don't understand it. I don't think they watch my channel. I mean, these are friends I've had for years and years and years. It's not that we can't connect in a loving way, but the things that I value and the things that they value are different now. So it's not to say that I've been abandoned or you've been abandoned. Sometimes it can feel like isolating, like no one understands us. But I think it's not because they left you. I think it's because you're just in a different place in your mindset. And I'm saying all of this because of this card. Wheel of Fortune, good fortune, divine timing. Oh, Spirit just said wrongs being righted. But I don't think that like wrongs in the like a legal sense or anything, just like kind of energetic wrongs being righted. Right? But it's tough. It's tough. The future energy. You got the Devil card. Right? And Devil, as Baba Jolie, one of my favorite tarot readers, likes to say, the devil is not an evil card. The devil is in all of us, right? It's a representation of stagnancy, of being trapped and bound by our own fears or our own misguided ideologies or codependencies and addictions. We all have something. We all have something. And, you know, it is in the major arcana for a reason. It's a time of reckoning for you. It's a time of reckoning. And what I was going to say was when I said earlier, bat out of hell. You're kind of coming out like a bat out of hell. Maybe that's precisely so. And in the hermit mode that you were in, like hermit and hanged muse together, present energy, this is a lot of introspection. And I think that it's a wrestling with the devil. We're wrestling with your ego, with your fear, with your trauma. And it's not easy, but it's worth it. I feel like I can attest to that. After my spiritual awakening, you know, it's not just like, oh, I have crystals and I burn Palo Santo and I ring this singing bowl. It's like, nah, I got like a massive promotion at my job, you know? Like real world, material world things started happening. Opportunities, doors opening, crucial conversations, influential people. You know, I like to say that I live a humble life, but now I have a YouTube channel. It's like, what? You know, so things happen. Things happen when you just really start to heal yourself. And I'm still doing it every single day. Until I die, I will be working on that healing, right? And this is what you're doing. And when you do that, and you make space, and you get rid of just all the stuff that doesn't belong, and it could be people, then you make more room for these new things. Ace of Materials, Ace of Pentacles. Aces bring new from spirit, new opportunities. These are the new opportunities, doors, jobs, money, people that vibe on the same level as you. You make space. You purge your old clothes that don't fit anymore, and you purge all of that out, and you make space for new clothes that fit you better, no matter what your size. They fit you better. You feel more confident, right? Think of that, you know, your closet as energies. Can I have a clarifier for the devil, please? What's that about? Thank you, Spirit. 4 voices in reverse. I think that 4 voices talks about the rest and recuperation period after heartache and heartbreak. which is the Three of Voices. This card represents rest, but when it's in the reverse, coming out of that space of rest, I asked for a clarifier for the Devil. It's almost like when you woke up, when you had spiritual awakening, and the veil was lifted, the veil of society, the veil of the material world was lifted, and you could see things more clearly. Ooh, it's rough out there. There's real world suffering going on out there. And your eyes are open to it now, like, right? There's activation. And you're wrestling. So I see a very specific scenario, and this definitely will not resonate with everybody, but like all of the world wars happening all over the world, the atrocities, everywhere, right? And then like drug addiction and homelessness and just food shortages and weird just societal things, right? Nothing that we can't control. And I see people kind of being at odds, and perhaps being at odds with you, because your eyes are open to it now, but other people's might not be. You're just like, I can't relate to you because you don't even care. And whatever the cause, whatever the thing, that it could be an infinite number of things, right? And you're realizing that because your eyes have been open, because you're stepping into another version of yourself, that you're also wrestling with the old version of yourself. And there could be some resentment, some guilt there. And that's devil energy. It's not to say we shouldn't take responsibility for our actions, but is it healthier to look back at the past and be resentful and feel guilt and feel remorseful of things we cannot change because it's already back there? Or is it starting today, I'm going to make amends, if only just to my own life and just myself, hopefully to greater community, and just start to be a better person, a kinder person, a more compassionate and empathetic person, somebody who uses my big Gemini brain to do good in the world, to find efficiencies, to create strategies, to ask pertinent questions, to get a conversation going. That feels, that's not spirit, that's just my opinion. But it's that kind of thing that you're wrestling with. There are a lot of people out there that feel guilty for a lot of things, and it keeps them stuck. What is the advice from spirit? 10 of Inspiration in reverse, Queen of Inspiration in reverse. This is advice from spirit, which is the suggestion that they want you to flip these cards upside down. They're like this right now. This is the card of burden. This is the card of beauty, abundance, inspiration, sexuality. Both these cards are in reverse. Not being able to let go of burden, not feeling confident in oneself. It's just like I said, right? Guilt, remorse, regret, etc., etc. I can't think of any other words. Cynicism. That's one of my favorites. Doubt, fear, etc. Spirit is saying, leave that in the past. Right? Bigger fish to fry here. Rising above it. I'm going to clarify on that. When the Queen of Inspiration is in reverse, we're just feeling not ourselves, not confident. And Spirit wants you to, a little bit snap out of it. Look. Okay, I can see why it's hard for you. Gemini, do you always get readings like this? I don't know. I don't think you do, but this is really, maybe it's these kind of recurring themes because you're still working on stuff, or whatever Gemini I'm talking to. Three of Voices, 10 of Voices, Three of Swords, 10 of Swords. These are like the yuckiest cards in the deck. Thank goodness they're both in the upright because we're moving past them now. This is heartache and heartbreak. This is just, and this card, we're just flattened. We're leveled. We're done. Stick a fork in you, you're done. Betrayal energy. This is clarifying Spirit's advice. It is really important that we move past these energies. We cannot change the past. We have to find, okay, if we're gonna think in practical terms, I always like to give some practical advice. Right, so like, Gemini, you're a thinker. Maybe it's time it's write down some thoughts. So I don't know if you journal, but Spirit's giving it to me. Like, write down some ideas, write down some thoughts of all the things that you believe hold you back. And writing them down and articulating them and getting them out from the cobwebs and the corners of the mind can allow them to be free, right? So whenever it's like when I burn Palo Santo, right? This is the Palo Santo wood, and I burn it, and I'm gonna burn some right now for you. I mean, just right now, Gemini, while we're here in space-time together, I'm gonna help you release these things that plague you. Just release them like the wind, like the smoke. Just go into the ether. They're no longer a part of you. I'm gonna do it over this whole reading. And so apropos too, with the invention of fire. Right? This fire allowed me to energetically help you release these traumas, right? And it's obviously going to take a lot more than me burning Palo Santo to do that. But it's a start because I set the intention to do so. And that's what you should be doing too. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve to sit in energy like this. You deserve this. Just absolutely knowing your power. Drawing upon the ancients for wisdom. Walking forth with a lot of confidence. That's what you deserve. So, step into that. Make the decision right now. Quantum jump right in with your mind, your consciousness. Step right into that new world where you leave that stuff behind. Is it hard or is it simple? That's your reading, Gemini. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Gemini.